One day, Henry was taking a heavy train. He was still upset after Gordon left him behind on the hill. The driver had given him a new coat of paint like he promised, but it was no help and the rain simply made things worse. "It'll ruin my nice new paint," Henry insisted. "Nonsense," replied the driver. "You'll feel better once you're back at the sheds." But Henry didn't want to wait to get back to the sheds. Near the end of the line was a long tunnel. It kept Henry sheltered from the rain as he passed through it. "If I stop here, I won't have to spoil my paint." Carefully, Henry began to slow down. The end of the tunnel kept approaching, but the weight of the coaches dragged him back. He went slower and slower and slower until... Whee! With a great hissing of steam, Henry came to a stop. "You silly engine!" exclaimed the driver. "Whatever are you doing?" He and the fireman tried to build more steam, but Henry would not move. "The rain will spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes," he said. The guard blew his whistle till he had no more breath, and waved his flag until his arms ached, but Henry still stayed in the tunnel and blew steam at him. The passengers came and argued too, but Henry would not move. A fat director, who was on the train, told the guard to get a rope. "We will pull you out," he said, but Henry only blew steam at him and made him wet. They hooked the rope on, and all pulled, except the fat director. "My doctor has forbidden me to pull," he said. They pulled and pulled and pulled, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel. Then they tried pushing from the other end. The fat director said, 1, 2, 3, push! But he did not help. "My doctor has forbidden me to push," he said. They pushed and pushed and pushed, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel. At last, another train came. The guard waved his red flag and stopped him. The 2 engine drivers, the 2 firemen, and the guard went and argued with Henry. "Look, it has stopped raining," they said. "Yes, but it will begin again soon," said Henry. "And what would become of my green paint with red stripes then?" So they brought the other engine up, and he pushed and puffed and puffed and pushed as hard as he ever could. But still, Henry stayed in the tunnel. So they gave up. They told Henry, "We shall leave you here for always and always and always." They took up the old rails, built a wall in front of him, and cut a new tunnel. Henry couldn't get out, and he watched the trains rushing through the new tunnel. He was very sad that no one would ever see his lovely green paint with red stripes again. Now whenever engines pass him, they sing, "Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. It went into a tunnel and squeaked through its funnel and never came out again." Thomas was a tank engine who lived at the big station with Gordon and Henry. He had 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. He was a fussy little engine, always pulling coaches about. He pulled them to the station, ready for the big engines to take out on long journeys. And when trains came in and the people got out, he would pull the empty coaches away so that the big engines could go and rest. He was a cheeky little engine too. He thought no engine worked as hard as he did. So he used to play tricks on them. He liked best of all to come quietly beside a big engine dozing on a siding and make them jump. "Peep, peep, 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 peep! Wake up, lazy bones!" he would whistle. "Why don't you work hard like me?" He would then laugh rudely and run away to find some more coaches. One day, Gordon was resting on a siding. He was very tired. The big express he always pulled had been late, and he had to run as fast as he could to make up for lost time. He was just going to sleep when Thomas came up in his cheeky way. "Wake up, lazy bones," he whistled. "Do some hard work for a change. You can't catch me." And he ran off laughing. Instead of going to sleep again, Gordon thought how he could pay Thomas out. One morning, Thomas wouldn't wake up. His driver and fireman couldn't make him start. His fire went out and there was not enough steam. It was nearly time for the express. People were waiting, but the coaches weren't ready. At last, Thomas started. "Oh dear, he yawned. "Come on," said the coaches. "Hurry up." Thomas gave him a rude bump and started for the station. Stop dawdling, he grumbled. Where have you been? Asked the coaches crossly. Thomas fussed into the station where Gordon was waiting. "Poop, poop, poop, hurry up, you," said Gordon crossly. "Beep, beep, beep. Hurry up yourself," said cheeky Thomas. "Yes," said Gordon, "I will." And almost before the coaches had stopped moving, Gordon came out of his siding and was coupled to the train. "Poop, poop," he whistled. "Get in quickly, please." So the people got in quickly, the signal went down, the clock struck the hour, the guard waved his green flag, and Gordon was ready to start. Thomas usually pushed behind the big engines to help them start. He'd done the same for Henry when he stopped in the tunnel, but he was always uncoupled first, so that when the train was running nicely, he could stop and go back. This time, he was late, and Gordon started so quickly that they forgot to uncouple Thomas. "Poop, poop," said Gordon. "Peep, peep, peep," whistled Thomas. Come on, puffed Gordon to the coaches. Pull hard, teased Thomas. The heavy train slowly began to move out of the station. The train went faster and faster. Too fast for Thomas. He wanted to stop, but he couldn't. "Peep, peep! Stop! He whistled. Hurry! Laughed Gordon in front. You can't get away! Laughed the coaches. Poor Thomas was going faster than he had ever gone before. He was out of breath, and his wheels hurt him, but he had to go on. I shall never be the same again, he thought sadly. My wheels will be quite worn out. They passed by Henry in his tunnel, and at last they stopped at a station. Everyone laughed to see Thomas puffing and panting behind. They uncoupled him, put him onto a turntable, and then he ran onto a siding out of the way. Well, little Thomas, chuckled Gordon as he passed. Now you know what hard work means, don't you? Poor Thomas couldn't answer. He had no breath. He just puffed slowly away to rest and had a long, long drink. He went home very slowly, and was careful afterwards never to be cheeky to Gordon again. Gordon often went through the tunnel where Henry was shut up. Poop, 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 serves you right, he would say. Poor Henry had no steam to answer. His fire had gone out. Soot and dirt from the tunnel had spoiled his lovely green paint and red stripes. He was cold and unhappy, and he wanted to come out and pull trains too. Gordon always pulled the express. He was proud of being the only engine strong enough to do it. There were many heavy coaches, full of important people, like the fat director who had punished Henry. Gordon was seeing how fast he could go. Hurry, 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 he panted. Trickety-trot, 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 said the coaches. Gordon could see Henry's tunnel in front. In a minute, he thought, I'll poop, poop, poop at Henry, and rush through and out into the open again. Closer and closer he came. He was almost there when, crack! Whee! He was in a cloud of steam and going slower and slower. His driver stopped the train. "What has happened to me?" asked Gordon. "I feel so weak." "You've burst your safety valve," said the driver. "You can't pull the train anymore." "No, dear," said Gordon. "We were going so nicely too. Look at Henry laughing at me." Gordon made a face at Henry and blew smoke at him. Everybody got out and came to see Gordon. "Humph!" said the fat director. "I never liked these big engines. Always going wrong. Send for another engine at once." While the guard went to find one, they uncoupled Gordon and ran him onto a siding out of the way. The only engine left in the shed was Thomas. "I'll come and try," he said. Gordon saw him coming. "That's no use," he said. "Thomas can't pull the train." Thomas puffed and pulled and pulled and puffed, but he couldn't move the heavy coaches. "I told you so," said Gordon rudely. "Why not let Henry try?" asked Thomas. "Yes," said the fat director. "I will." "Will you help to pull this train, Henry?" he asked. "Yes," said Henry at once. So Gordon's driver and fireman lit his fire. Some plate layers broke down the wall and put back the rails. And when he had steam up, Henry puffed out. He was dirty. His boiler was black and he was covered with cobwebs. "Ooh, I'm so stiff! Ooh, I'm so stiff!" he groaned. "You'd better have a run to ease your joints and find a turntable," said the fat director kindly. Henry came back, feeling better, and they put him in front. "Peep, peep," said Thomas. "I'm ready." "Peep, peep, peep," said Henry. "So am I." "Pull hard, pull hard, pull hard," puffed Thomas. "We'll do it, we'll do it, we'll do it," puffed Henry. "Pull hard, we'll do it, pull hard, we'll do it, pull hard, we'll do it," they puffed together. The heavy coaches jerked and began to move, slowly at first, then faster and faster. "We've done it together! We've done it together! We've done it together!" said Thomas and Henry. "You've done it, hooray! You've done it, hooray! You've done it, hooray!" sang the coaches. All the passengers were excited. The fat director leaned out of the window to wave to Thomas and Henry, but the train was going so fast that his hat flew off into a field where a goat ate it for tea. They never stopped until they came to the big station at the other end of the line. Henry felt exhausted, and Thomas's wheels were quite worn out, but he didn't mind. He liked going fast now. All the passengers got out and said thank you, and the fat director promised Henry a new coat of paint once more. "Would you like blue and red?" "Yes, please," said Henry. "Then I'll be like Thomas." Thomas and Henry went home quietly, and on their way, they helped Gordon back to the shed. "Thank you for helping me," he said to them both, but especially to Henry. All three engines are now great friends. Wasn't Henry pleased when he had his new coat? He is very proud of it, as all good engines are, but he doesn't mind the rain now, because he knows that the best way to keep his paint nice is not to run into tunnels, but to ask his driver to rub him down when the day's work is over.